Hi and good evening, everyone. My name is Albert, and this is VlogsBoutNothin. Thank you very much for taking the time out of your very busy Saturday to join me. I really appreciate it. This is the fourth stream of tonight, and since it is the fourth stream, and the schedule has changed, obviously, right? Saturday nights we were doing mukbangs. My personal life is undergoing a few schedule adjustments in the way that I'm living it, and that's just the way that life is, and that's fine. But as a result of that, I'm a little off track with how the channel was going in its traditional sequence. So I think this is like the third week where we haven't had a mukbang, but I still want to do them. I'm literally the green screen's right behind me. Like, I got all these cool ideas, but only so much time in the day and only so much energy. You feel me? So it's gonna get there and we'll get it done. But until then, consider subscribing if you're not already. It takes just a couple of seconds and it really helps the channel out a ton. Okay? Tonight we're talking about the porn industry. And link in the description below to source material of which I've referenced and or cited, and or to cite, some of the things that we cover in our improvisational talk, impromptu format, right? And so the porn industry is something that's really affecting relationships and people all over in a negative way. And so I'm a 36-year-old single man, right? I've never been married, so I've never been divorced. I find that something about me that is attractive, I may not be the most physically attractive person, but you feel me? Like, I got some goals and some values myself, and obviously I am in agreement with the fact that as a single man, it's why are there so many single people, and why are all of most relationships toxic, and why aren't people on the same page? And I would say that the underlying issue to a lot of those problems within the dynamics of relationships is porn, right? And that's because porn, for a number of different reasons, gives us unrealistic expectations of sexual social behavior on a world that is otherwise, you know, sex is a lot harder to come by than just taking the few seconds it takes to hop on your phone and to Google your favorite site. You feel me? And I say this because I think that we as a society should probably focus a little bit more on how talking about these things is something that needs to be talked about, in terms of, like, for example, here in the state of New Mexico, drunk driving was a major issue, right? Like, a major issue, but not a lot of stuff was being done about it, honestly. And they teach you this in driving school because it was so impactful, the story that I'm telling you. The problem was so pervasive that a group of women got together and formed Mothers Against Drunk Driving, MAD. And only when this group and coalition of private societal members was created, was then legislation brought forth to the table to really mitigate and bring in the conversation of why drinking while driving under the influence was a bad thing, and all the negative impacts it could have on you, right? Now, while that isn't exactly the same in that I don't want to abolish or prohibit the use of porn, but just I think human beings are quite capable of having real meaning in their own sexual lives, but only if they talk about it. And a lot of times people don't want to talk about their sexual lives. They don't, it's uncomfortable, it's a very private thing. Well, is it so private that the most trafficked sites in the entire world are porn sites? I mean, seriously, guys, we use Pornhub more than we use Google and Netflix. But yeah, let's not talk about our sex lives. You see what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't make sense because sex is a big part of everyone's lives, most people's lives. The people that it's not a part of, that's fine. but I'd say that the 80-20 rule, you feel me? Sex is a big deal. Everybody wants, at some point to engage or are engaged or addicted even in some aspects of that behavior, but nobody talks about it. It's like, it's insane to me. It really is. Especially because a lot of people will say that, I'm conservative, like I'm this, well, like, dude, like, why is the behavior not match the rhetoric? You feel me? Like, I mean, I'm not saying that I don't watch porn. You feel me? I'm just simply saying that talking about why people watch so much porn will in fact make relationships stronger, because we'll find out that people watch porn because we're sentient social beings that want to experience pleasure in our lives. And we often take like major shortcuts because things can be real difficult. You feel me? It's a lot easier to order a hamburger from McDonald's than it is to make one. Yourself in a lot of instances, and just the very instance of the actual convenience of it. But we shouldn't convenience and sort of do that kind of thing with our sex lives, because it's going to mean real bad stuff for alphas, younger millennials, and Gen Zers later on down the road. I mean, Gen Zers are already the loneliest generation that we've had in this country. That's a fact. A big part of that fact is because they've grown up in a culture that millennials have enabled to monetize, so that Pornhub is visited just as many times as Google, Netflix, and Wikipedia in a single day, right? And so porn drives a lot. Porn lobbyists, porn is a big business. I mean, bigger places have gone out of business going up against the porn industry. I mean, it's ironic for me in that pornography is indicative of free speech. And this is where Larry Flint and Hugh Hefner have made their fair stake within the argument of why pornography is even allowed to begin with. Because it is, in fact, free speech. It is. If it offends you or if you don't like it, well then don't watch it. Nobody's forcing you to watch porn. Except that's the problem, is that nobody needs to force us to watch porn because we all watch porn. So we need to do something about it. To just talk about it. Almost like, I would say, gambling, right? When you go to a casino or when you call a casino or when you visit a website, there's a phone number that you can call in case you have problems gambling, right? So maybe some of these pornography websites should have disclaimers on them that say, if you have a problem watching porn, here's somebody that you can reach out to, because this isn't the norm. As much as we want you on our page as long as possible every single day, we kind of don't. You feel me? In terms of, we're also advocating for you to be your best mental self and to have real expectations of what you're going to receive in real life as far as your sex life goes, compared to your expectations that you come up with in your mind after 10 minutes of watching your favorite porn video. You feel me? So, again, very important conversations. I know they can be uncomfortable sometimes, but the fact of the matter is we all may say they're uncomfortable, and then, when we're by ourselves, the truth comes out. And again, that doesn't make any of us bad people. And not ever will I ever say we should ban pornography or we should restrict free speech, because that would be going against everything I stand for. Just because I don't like something or just because I don't like what somebody says doesn't mean that it should be illegal or that it should be wrong or that everybody should feel the way that I feel about it, So I actually value diversification and people who think differently than I do and who bring different stuff to the table. That's how you're going to get the best variety and or assortment of options to choose from. And you want more options, ladies and gentlemen. You don't want narrowed down, watered down options, which is kind of, the straw man kind of conversation that comes up when we often talk about these things. But fair is fair. You know what I mean? Free speech is free speech. And pornography is fair game. But at the same time, I really think that old people should be talking to young people about how later on in their life it can really, really severely impact the way they view another human being. And that could potentially mean that it just exacerbates already what has become the loneliest generation in modern history. And so I hope you guys have a wonderful night. Thank you for taking the time out again of your day to join me. I say it like 10 times a program, but I truly mean it. I'm going to get back to doing nothing. I hope that you guys have a safe and lovely night. If you're going to go out and you do any drinking, make sure you have a designated driver. Don't drink and drive. And have a lovely night, okay? Bye, guys.